Okay, welcome to AI Talks episode 6. This is AI in coding. I'm very excited to do this episode. And if you code, if you're interested in coding and programming, please tune in because we have Sawyer today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Kashav. Thank you for inviting me and just happy to share my experience in AI encoding.
Of course, of course, of course. Thank you so much for joining today. And today is a very, another one of these niche episodes in AI, and especially in coding this time. And I think it's very interesting to kind of understand what goes on in that environment. And it's also for me it's for me to kind of learn what the other side of things of what the other side of coding looks like the back end, the front end. And I'm very excited to get into this. And yeah, so basically, I just want to do some introductions here. I can go ahead and start. My name is Keshav. I'm the host. We've done probably 6 episodes now, and I'm a senior at ASU still. I graduated in May, and I'm heading the marketing at Gen AI Consulting, and I'm very excited to keep pursuing these podcasts and you know really help people understand what goes on in AI when it comes to coding, business, marketing, everything. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm very happy for the platform that I have. And yeah, I'll just throw it over to Sawyer.
Yeah, hello everyone. So my name is Songyu. You can call me Sawyer also. So I'm currently working as an AI consultant at Gen AI, and before that, I was a graduate student at UCLA, studying basically focusing on artificial intelligence. So yeah, so basically over my past academic and professional experience, I've basically grow with this new trend of using AI in coding, and I've seen like how much progress it has made over the past few years. So yeah, I'm just really excited to share what I know to you guys.
Perfect. Love that, love that. And then now we're gonna head right into this little segment that I do. I do this every single time. It's a very, I'm trying to make it like so that I can edit a little thing above that says like now it's time for this segment or something. But that'll happen later on. But it's just what AI have you used this week? And
Yeah,
I can go ahead and start. I can say that for me, I don't know if anybody uses CapCut or plans to use CapCut. Um, but if you do make any long form content, you can put that right into CapCut and you can press one button and it'll make 11 shorts from it. It'll immediately edit all of the frames and it'll put in the auto captions and it'll do everything for you. And I think it's all done by AI. So I think that's just incredible. It'll give you a full description of like a title. It'll give you a description. It'll just take things from it, and it'll make content for you. And I think that's incredible. But that's just one that I've used this week. What about you, Sawyer?
yeah. For me, it's more like it's more. I'm more focusing on basically use that in production when I was actually trying to code. So let's let's we can start with the basics. So like ChatGPT and I mean DeepSeek, Grok, XAI, they're all basically perfectly infused in my daily works. And also for this week, I think me and my team we actually focused on this new AI platform called DeFi, which is more like a low code or like no code actually kind of platform for people to build a chatbot or anything like you want with a LLM like large language model capability. So we actually discovered that it's super useful. You basically don't have to write any code. You can just drag some little boxes around in a platform and connect the dots and connect the boxes with like into something like a pipeline or like a workflow, and then yeah, just magically you have like a fully functional chatbot for you to use.
Wow. You said it's called DeFi, or am I saying that right?
Yeah, DeFi, DIFY, DeFi.
DIFY, DeFi. Wow, that's incredible. I think I know when this is gonna be like a different it's gonna be like a very niche will call out, but I know that when I started learning coding a long time ago, I would use this thing called Scratch, and you kind of basically drag if statements around and drag then statements and kind of the all that kind of stuff. And I know that I used to use that, so I think that. that to see where that's come from. It's come from coding, and now it's going to like applying that to large language models and making chatbots. That's incredible, and that obviously saves so much time for you, I bet.
Yeah, definitely. So basically before that, before we discover that, we basically have to build the whole chatbot from scratch, right? We have to run,
Right.
basically write every single lines of code and to, research all the kind of libraries to build the whole structure to discuss how we can build this structure, how we basically want the chatbot to achieve what functionality. But right now we can just, everything's so plain and so straightforward. We just see the individual boxes and we just move them around and just, yeah, we can build a chatbot in like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Wow, 10 minutes. So before using this platform, how long would it take you?
Well, for a team of people with a lot of experience, I would say at least a couple of days, 3 to 4 days.
Wow, couple of days to 10 minutes. Wow. And is this platform free to use?
Yeah, it has like a multiple kind of tiers, but they have like a sandbox tier, which is basically a free tier. It
Okay.
gives you already a lot of functionalities, and I have not basically we're also using the free tier. I mean, so it's already pretty much like powerful already. And if you
Yeah.
want to go beyond much, even though even more beyond that, you have, uh, I think 3 to 4 different tiers beyond that, which offers you even more powerful, more uh, functionalities to use.
Yeah. Wow. Perfect. So I think, I mean, obviously, the more and more people start using this, they might change their payment structure. But I think definitely DeFi, like if anybody out here that is trying to code chatbots, that is trying to get interested in that, definitely check that out. That's huge. 2 days to 10 minutes is still that's incredible. Um, but yes, I think that's just a great example of kind of how this podcast is going to go. I think just the time we're going to talk about, how much time is being saved, how much, like things. So I do want to ask you this. So could you name a project that you've done before, and how AI would have helped you kind of save time on that?
Yeah, definitely. So I was thinking basically, uh, a project I did before is to basically try to, uh, how to say, build this like a natural language pipeline
Yeah.
for a company. I won't mention the name, but for the
Yeah.
company to
Uh,
basically for the stakeholders to basically type in like natural language, and we can basically using the AI, using the large language models to automatically translate the natural language into like codes or like queries to apply those codes to the databases and then just return some data that the stakeholders, the bosses, and supervisors want to see. And this have saved us like enormous amount of time because before that you basically have to what you're gonna do is that for every of your supervisor's request you have to basically write a query, write a code to correspond to that request only, and then you have to manually run that and return the data for that request only, and then maybe next day if your boss have like a new thought in his or her head, you basically have to do the whole thing all over again. But right
yeah.
now, if you yeah, once you have this basically full pipeline uh, built, you only have to basically let it run, and you can just tell your supervisors to just you can go there and you can type in your request and you can just get your result. There's no need for us to continuously writing new codes for you.
Right. It's completely autonomous. It just keeps on, making it by itself. That's incredible. Wow. So I think no, that's a great example. I also want to ask you, so as we go into, the future of kind of prompting and all this, and taking bits and pieces from, platforms that involve no code, like, options to kind of incorporate strategies and ideas instead of just manually coding. Where do you think where do you think software development will go? Like how is prompting and how has AI changed software development from like, you know, a, a an idea standpoint?
Yeah, so basically for me, I think it's just makes coding one level more to like to high level, high into high uh yeah, into basically high level. So basically right now I think programmers, software developers, they can focus less on like specific details like syntax, like specific lines of functions. They can right now basically focusing on some high level design and the system design of their code. And so they can basically be more creative. They save a lot of time to do some repetitive work. They will have more time to creatively design their system, to creatively coming up with like new solutions to problems.
Right.
And that's just a huge step towards efficiency because I think this actually follows the trend in software development because if you think of that, if you go back like really in ancient times, people are writing like assembly codes, which basically some complex codes, and
Yeah.
just telling computers what to do, like move some data from here to there, and copy some stuff from here to there, and that's so complex and so I'll say inefficient that people coming up with more high-level programming languages like C, C++, and then Python, so basically wrap things up more and more to be more and more high-level to help people focusing less and less on specific details, but more on the overall designs. And so I think right now the prompt engineering and the AI is really just one more step towards that.
Definitely. Definitely. So obviously time is being saved, and now there's just more time to think about, because if you were making an app back in the day, do you think that you would kind of think, okay, like technically I may not be able to implement this idea, but now do you feel like with this AI, now you're thinking, okay, technically, like I'm okay technically, whatever the technicalities are, the AI will kind of figure it out. I just have to make sure my idea is like foolproof.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I think before this, people are just sometimes scared to make their own product or just don't believe in themselves because like all the documentations, all the knowledge they have to go through to just build one product, right? Because they have to, if they want to use a new library or a new package, they have to go over like the new bunch of documentations or README files to just to understand how the functions work, how to, you know, what input do we have to use, what output do we expect, and you know it just takes a lot of time and a lot of efforts to be really experienced and be really proficient in all the libraries and functions. But right now, you don't really have to remember in details like how to use every individual functions and every individual like code syntaxes. You can just have a basically a overall structure in mind and overall design of the system in mind, and you just leave the rest of the work uh, to, I mean, ChatGPT, and then
Right.
it will just help you search, help you research all the syntaxes and specific details you need. And another best thing about this is that you don't have to basically worry about debugging and worry about the errors in your code because I think well from my personal experience when we don't have all the AI tools to support us, sometimes your code will give you some like really strange error message and you don't even know what that means. So what you now
Yeah.
have to do is to basically go into every requirement documents, sorry, every documents, every recording records to basically try to investigate what this error message means, and you have
Yeah.
to go to all the blogs, all the like Stack Overflow, all the websites just to see if like in the whole world there will be some people like you encountering the same problem, so you guys may be discussing like what a solution may be. But right now you don't have to worry all about that. You can just copy the log information, the error message to an AI tool, and it will just tell you where did you do wrong, and it will help you fix that. So this is, I think this is much more like a huge improvement in our workflow.
Definitely, definitely. I agree. I agree. And I also want to get into this topic because as a student myself, as a student trying to branch into my career, I would love to. Well, I already asked for in our I think it was two podcasts ago. I did ask, kind of like what advice would you give students that are trying to implement AI or that are not implementing AI? Like what platforms can they use? What ways can they, you know, get ahead of the curve? And I want to ask you this question as well. How like what advice would you give to an entry level programmer just coming out of college? What AI tools can you use to really get ahead of the curve and build those projects and stand out? What would you say?
So for me, I think the first advice I would give to people just entering, college, maybe pursuing this career, my first advice is to do not give up learning CS knowledge, because I know a lot of like freshmen or junior students just basically saying something like, it's all AI now. It's all AI writing codes now. Why am I still learning, those fundamental, those basic knowledges? I
Yes.
guess, throw everything into an AI and let them write code. But the question is, you really have to learn those fundamental knowledges to have this kind of structured idea and this systematic idea in your head, that what do you want the AI to write, like what kind of code do you want the AI to write for you, what kind of system do you want AI to build for you, because uh, many people will maybe over reliant on AI writing codes, but many times the codes AI are writing is not correct, is not complete. So in that time, you really have to rely on on the knowledge in your head to basically
Yeah.
help AI to finish the code that it's writing.
Right.
So I think this might be my first recommendation. And beyond
Yeah.
that, people like students really can learn some of the prompt engineering, like the concepts, the practice of the prompt engineering, because essentially that's what's important. I think in the next step of AI, like AI supported coding, I think that must be like prompt driven development. So basically, people will write uh, carefully designed and fully like technical prompt and
Yeah.
send that to AI, so that the AI can fully understand what your intent is and what kind of code are you expecting, and then the AI will be able to write you a more complete and more uh, perfect code. So
Yeah.
the quality of prompt, I think, is really uh, the next kind of research area that everyone should focus about.
Yeah,
And
like giving context and giving the explanation why, and then understanding like from my standpoint, like as a you could write like as an entry level coder, I'm trying to do this project for this reason because of this, and like kind of give like really laying it out. Yeah, no, I agree.
yeah, definitely. So the prompt is definitely something uh, interesting and something worth focusing on. And beyond that, regarding to AI tools, I think you can just uh, go with whatever is popular in the market right now. So like Diffie, which I just mentioned, uh, like represents basically the new trend of some low code or no code kind of platform, and some other platform maybe like Flowwise uh, and other platforms.
Perfect.
So basically, try to keep up with the trend, and try to uh, you know get your experience with this new kind of tools, because right now the everything is still changing rapidly. Everything is evolving pretty quickly. So I think keeping up with the trend is the most important because you don't want to invest in one tool that much, and you basically want to spread out your kind of expertise and your skill set to fully utilize this kind of new AI tool.
Hmm. Gotcha. Perfect. I love that. I love that. I think that's perfect for anybody out there trying to understand. I think one point that I love that you hit is the not losing the fundamentals because you're thinking that oh AI is gonna take my job because I mean I know it is hard out there. The market is very tough. And it is very easy to think about how, AI can basically do everything better than me if I'm a coder. But you do have to realize that the fundamentals are very important to know still so that you can implement those bigger picture ideas that AI can't think about. Which that's just great. That's just great stuff right there. I'm definitely going to use that, and I think a lot of people can use that as well to build their career. So I really appreciate that. Um, but yeah, I think so. Let's go into some. It's for this is also for me because I'm genuinely just curious about this as well because I don't really know much that goes on in this whole world basically. But I want to know like what are some real world examples of like companies using AI to code or for like coding? Is there any kind of examples that you can give me?
Yeah, definitely. So, for example, I know a lot of companies in their internal platforms uh, are already trying to incorporate like a lot of AI functionalities in it. So, for example, I know Databricks, they already have the AI kind of functionalities in their platforms to help people, like auto complete their code, or even if you write a short, brief description, it will help you write some codes for you to
Yeah.
use. And also, I know like for Google, like Google Colab is actually also incorporated this kind of functionality with their Gemini model. And yeah, so basically, I think every company in their uh, daily work, in their daily working pipeline, is trying to utilize this kind of productivity tools, AIs, to help their teams to be more efficient, to be more uh, agile in their development.
Yes. Cool. Cool. That's great. You said what was the company one more time? It was
Databricks and Google's
Databricks.
Colab.
Right. I actually have used Google Colab back in the day when I was a code when I was a programmer. I did use Google Colab a bit. But yeah, no, that's great. I think so. Do you see this shift into AI assisted coding as like a means of forgetting about traditional programming, or do you think that education in coding should really be focused on traditional more than AI assisted? What do you think about that?
Well, I think it will be like a bit of both. So as we just
Okay.
talk about, so like traditional kind of coding is really still needed because you need that to build your knowledge base to help you understand the code that AI is writing and to help you basically communicate with the AI system to let it understand like what kind of result, what kind of code are you expecting. But definitely, I think in this new kind of trend, uh, we cannot just learn the traditional way of coding. We also have to learn this new ways of coding, like what we discussed about, like how to write prompts and how
Yep.
to correctly basically engage with AI system, how to write pipelines with AI as a part, as a kind of like a one step in the pipeline to in your whole system to incorporate the power of AI in your working pipeline instead of just leaving as a like as a separate part as a more advanced version of Google. So I think all those are how to say beneficial for us to learn.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree. I agree. I think there's well obviously the shift happening right now is very new. And I think the more and more we go into this, the more we understand about how every single platform is gonna now change. And I think I also want to get into kind of the ethics of it. I want to get into kind of how some kind of biases can form from the training data that is being given to these AIs that is now giving us answers for our code. How does that, have you ever encountered where you put something into an AI and it just didn't give you the right answer and it could be because of some kind of bias, or do you think that which models are underperforming in that way?
Yeah, definitely. I think, uh, especially when we trying to dealing with like data analytics kind of works, especially when it is relating to some like demographical data or like some personal data, uh, all those AI models because they're trained on some. Sometimes I assume they are training on some kind of bias data. So sometimes they will give different parameters to. So let's just say, let's just make an example. So basically, when I before in one of my previous internships, when I was working with some demographic data, I dropped the data into ChatGPT and I say something like, "Help me uh, write something like a machine learning model and
Yep.
to analyze that data." And I noticed that the parameter that the ChatGPT set for different kind of uh, demographic data, the demographic groups, like different racial groups, different gender groups, are slightly different. I mean, this is just a minor issue because I think ChatGPT they actually manage this quite well. They are managing their training data quite well, but it's still something that we need to consider about because ideally the parameters for the question I won't disclose the specific question I wrote, but
Yeah.
ideally the parameters for that task should be the same, but somehow
Right.
it still differs depending on what kind of like racial groups are data am I putting in. So
Okay.
this is something that we need to especially care about and especially like focus about because all the AI models because as you mentioned they are training on data and we don't we can we need to we cannot make sure that it always been trained on balanced and unbiased data. So as a programmer, as a developer, you have to be like the first line of guardian between the AI model and the actual like the application of the model into the society. You have to be the guardian to uh, adjust if necessarily any kind of bias, any kind of like stereotype in the AI models. And I think that's what the AI developers in this kind of new area need to do to help this kind of social responsibility to uh, make AI more like accessible, more equal to everyone.
Yes. Perfect. I think that really gets into the next topic that I want to get into ethics as well. Do you, if we do kind of if we do get like a wrong result, or if you get like incorrect code, or the demographics are wrong, is the AI to blame? Are the developers that are developing it that either see it or don't see it, are they to blame? Like who is responsible for that?
Yeah, I mean it's really like some kind of gray area for now, and then there's a
Yeah.
debate going on, and everyone just have their own argument. Uh, so what I think is more like a need for collaboration than to just discriminate like whose fault it is. I mean, for the AI companies, for the companies hosting and developing those AI models, of course, they need to basically introduce a more balanced and more equal kind of data set and try to monitor their AI models to not have any kind of stereotypical views towards
Yeah.
any kind of groups. And for people using the AI models, for people trying to develop their own kind of product, their own apps based on those AI models, they also have to be responsible to verify, to validate their the code or the development from those AI models to make necessary changes, to make adjustments before you really put that to into like production. So I think it's more
Yeah.
like responsibility on both sides, and it's a requirement on both sides rather than people just trying to blame one side of it. I think it's actually a responsibility like both parties should comply. Should.
Right. Right. I think both parties are equal to blame now, and I think. Do you think that in the future there'll be like a position called like an AI ethics developer? Do you think that might happen?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just the same as all the recent like all the development in the recent years of the companies are now setting up like DEI departments, right? So in the
Yeah.
future, I'm sure that maybe companies will set up something like an AI ethics department where
Yes.
professionals will be reviewing the ethics, all the all aspect regarding ethics in AI usage, in AI development, and yeah, I think that's actually just one step towards more ethical and more equal use of AI.
Yes. Okay. I think that speaking about, all these different topics, business, coding, marketing, um, I think ethics is going to be just a bigger and bigger conversation as we go in the future. And I do want to also just kind of stay in that kind of future conversation. And I want to ask you, how do you think software development is going to change in the next 5 years? Where do you think we're going to go with AI assisted learning, and how dependent are we going to be on this?
Yeah, so I think basically this is like the AI supported or AI like kind of uh, helping people coding. This is like a trend that no one can basically fight back. So I think basically in the next 5 years, people will try to work out this new kind of relationship, new kind of working structure of developers to actually collaborate with AI to either, work in parallel or work together to actually try to be more efficient and be more productive. And I think people will not, but in the next 5 years, I think people will not be totally like reliant on AI to write code because the ability of AI of writing like and of understanding and writing codes that can solve like the entire task is still limited. So I think people will still need some manual input to
Yeah.
adjust the result of AI and to basically validate and refine the code. And so I think it will be like a more complex and more uh, close relationship of developers to work with AI to try to treat AI as another like a working partner.
Yeah. So perfect. So great to talk to you today, Sawyer. I love all the answers that you've given, and I'm very excited to put out some new content about this podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I mean, thank you again for inviting me here. It's great. It's a great experience, sharing uh, my knowledge and my experience on this topic that everybody is wondering about. And I hope people can benefit a little bit from my experience and can, begin thinking like how we can basically collaborating with AI.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And I think that, with everybody that I have on the podcast, I do want to like kind of have the same people in like literally like 2 months. Because I feel like everything's gonna change in like 2 months, right? We're changing every week. And it's just super exciting to see where things go. And I would love to have that conversation again with you, maybe in the future sometime. So there's also that. But yes, thank you so much for everybody tuning in. This has been AI Talks episode 6, and please check us out on our YouTube platform. Please check us out on our Instagram and our LinkedIn. All the links will be in our bio. And once again, thank you so much, and that's it for today. Thank you.
Thank you.